Good morning. Happy Saturday, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. It's my Monday. I don't know what the date is. I think it might be the 13th, April 13th. I don't know. It's my Monday. I didn't pay attention to the date over my weekend. It's 4:47 a.m. I've been up since 3 a.m. Why you been up since 3 a.m.? Well, I got the what ifs were kicking in. The what ifs hit, what if this, what if that, So I've been flopping around since 3 a.m. for almost 2 hours. Let's get my coffee ready here. Oh, man. Hurry up. Yep, it's Monday. It's already starting off kind of rough. It's all right. That's what Mondays are for. Rough, right? What up? That's what I feel like this morning. It's the 12th, 4/12/25. So obviously I'm already up. Been up. Let me turn this off. It's distracting me a little bit. So yeah, the what ifs were kicking in pretty heavy, man. When you're sober, man, and you're like I said a million of my other videos, you're not numb to everything anymore. You're faced with everything, and I'm telling you, man, it can kick your butt. Life can. Basically, the what ifs are stress and worrying. I really don't have any reason to be worrying. Everything's okay. I'm just like, I think it boils down to, um, I need like time. I need some enjoyment, more enjoyment in my life besides just this routine that I'm in of work, eat, sleep, shower, and then of course working out in between. It just needs to be more. There's got to be more to life than just working to have a place, to be comfortable. I don't know. And then, of course, I'm thinking, like, what if something happened to me? What will happen to everything, my whole deal? So I'm sitting there thinking about stuff like that. You know, it just, I think a lot of it boils down to I'm alone. All this stuff I got going on is on my shoulders. My health, that's why me putting myself in this situation, getting my own pad and all this stuff I have, it's pretty much gave me no choice but to become sober because my health is really important to my situation. It's super important for me to be healthy and not get sick or get hurt or anything because I don't have a really good backup plan. If something happens to me, my whole situation could come crumbling down, and that's where the what ifs are coming from. If you do have a large family and you have multiple incomes to keep your situation going, consider yourself blessed. or lucky, because when you're doing it by yourself, all the stress of everything, every little thing comes on you. Well, in my case, me, all of it, everything, the power, the internet, the water, the pad itself, my job, the things I have to do at my job to keep that going. Even my coworkers at my job, because I work under a contract, and if my contract doesn't get renewed because my coworkers aren't doing a good job, that affects me. So there's all these other variables that come into play in just getting by through life. Okay. Just It's just a lot, man. It's a lot to just survive these days and try to be somewhat comfortable and normal. But and then I'm thinking like this weekend's Coachella weekend. I've never been to Coachella. I've heard it's a lot of fun, but I can't go to Coachella because I got all this stuff I got to deal with. And even if I wanted to go to Coachella, could I even afford to go to Coachella? I don't think I can because everything's so expensive. It's unreal. Let me say hi to this person real quick. So anyways, I'm just stressed. I'm just causing myself stress by overthinking everything, you know, and I'm not in like a situation where I can just turn it off. I can't turn it. I'm like locked in. I have a lot on my freaking plate, and either any way I dice it up, I have a lot of responsibilities now, and it just gets to you sometimes, especially when you're not getting any time off to enjoy your life. It just gets to you after a while. And I've been on working pretty much nonstop full time for over 5 years with no vacations, and it's just getting to me, man. you know and then I'm thinking like, okay, well, what if I wanted to switch jobs? I got to start over. I don't like the job. I start losing money, blah, blah, blah. The whole thing snowballs. You know what I mean? It's like, damn, man, the things you have to do just to live these days, it's ridiculous, man. I can see why Trump has got in there, because things are getting to the point where it's like, okay, you're going to have to make this amount of money, or else you're going to be on the other side, on government support. Okay, like the government's going to be doing everything for you, and that's not really a good deal either, because you don't have any money. You have a little tiny shitbox place that they give you, and it's just not a very good life either. So, you know, man, it's just really hard these days. Life is hard these days, man. Even if you're doing okay, I'm doing okay, everything's fine. It's just my brain is thinking like, it's a pretty fragile situation. It wouldn't take a whole lot to screw it up, basically. And I know it's like that for a lot of people these days. It wouldn't take a lot to screw someone up these days, because most people are living from paycheck to paycheck. Their credit's tapped out. It's like, what the hell's going on here, man? With this country, is this everything. You can literally worry yourself into a freaking panic heart attack almost, man. As a responsible adult, everything you do has consequences, okay? And everything will catch up to you eventually. If you're partying a lot, not being responsible, it will catch up to you, okay? And that's part of the reason why I'm sober, because I realized that, I realized that if I didn't stop, my shit, I wasn't going to be able to handle my shit anymore. Wasn't going to be able to handle anything anymore. And that's why I got sober, because, there's one thing drinking to numb yourself, but then when you're doing it to a point where it starts affecting like your emotions, your health, your job, everything, then you got to do something. And I did. And that's why I'm sober today. And it's still hard, even sober, man, because it just, it's hard to really like find a job that you can make enough to where you can really get ahead. It's hard these days to get a job like that, man. I have a job where I'm doing okay, but it's not getting me like really ahead because everything is so expensive also. This is a bitch fest this morning. Sorry. It's my Monday. I'm not going to be like jumping for joy because I'm in this cycle of working with not much enjoyment going on outside of work, really. Not. I don't have money to do a lot of things. I don't have money to take an unpaid vacation. I don't have enough money to go to Coachella and go have a good time with these people. I don't even know if it would be a good time, even if I went. I don't know. It's to me, it's all drug and alcohol infested, anyways, and I'm not into that. So I don't know. I don't know. Like I said in my other videos, it's nice to have a comfortable pad, but because of the comfortable pad, I am anchored and locked in, and like there is a lot on my shoulders, and it gets to me sometimes to the point where I start almost freaking out. Like, what the hell did I get myself into? Really, it's like, damn. I remember my dad when he got sick just before he passed. He had his own place, and so he was getting sick, and I remember his wife telling me, his wife that he had, telling me like he was hanging on for a long time. When he got sick, he had spinal meningitis, and he was at home for a long time, and he got really bad to where like he was hallucinating, and like I guess one day like she got up and the whole house was filled with gas from the stove, and my dad was like running around the house talking to himself, and he turned on the stove and it didn't light the flame, but the gas was still going and filled up the house with gas. And like she said, he was just like out of his mind, and like that's when she drew the line and finally called the ambulance to come get him. And because he could have blew up the whole house and killed everybody in there, right? So anyways, he lost it. He was out of his mind, and the ambulance came, got him, and he was like hanging on, just hanging on, and when she said that when they finally got him on the stretcher and put him in the ambulance, he started like, doing like the fish out of water. He finally let go and just start flopping around like, a fish out of water. And I guess it's because like he was just trying to hang on so much to his situation. The point I'm trying to make is like people like hang on to their situation for dear life. He didn't want to see his life's work, everything he owns. He didn't want to let it go because it was his responsibility, right? And he just hung on even through his sickness and his illness until the ambulance finally took him away, and he let go, and he went into shock almost immediately because he knew that once he got into that ambulance, it was over. He could no longer hang on to it. So he just let go. And a year later, he was in the hospital for about a year, and then it took about a year for him to finally pass. You know, about 13 months he stayed in that hospital, and he finally passed. But he's really like, he was hanging on before he went to the hospital for his whole deal, and then he hung on for his life in the hospital for like 13 months. He like his whole the whole thing was just nothing but a hard struggle, hanging on and grasping for dear life, man. And you know, it was rough to see him go like that. But you know, it also made me realize that's just how life is for a lot of people. You know, they're just hanging on for dear life, man. They're hanging on to whatever they can, you know, their pad, their job, their life. And you know, that's the reality of life. Is it's hard, man. It's hard. And if it's not hard, more than likely eventually it will be. And that's what's kind of sucky about the way our society is these days. Is it's too hard. It's just too complicated. It's too much about money. It's too much about stuff. It just needs, life in this country needs to back up and get back to more basic, simple stuff. And it's not gonna ever. It's just gonna keep getting worse, and to where most people are, I don't know what's gonna happen, man. But you know, you can see like the birth rate of people has dropped a lot because the way society is, there's not going to be enough people to keep going with what we got going here in this country. And you know, it's just it's crazy, dude. Like my brain just starts thinking too much, and you know, I start thinking about stuff like that, and it kind of messes with me a little bit, drives me a little bit crazy. But you know, I just, you know, have to train myself to take it one day at a time, and every day just try to go with the flow and try not to overthink and worry about everything too much. But it's easy to do when everything is riding on your shoulders, you know. It's real easy to do because there's no escape. There's no escape. I have to do it. I have to get my ass up and go to work every day, or else I have to deal with the aftermath of all the shit I have going on. And it's just a lot. And man, some vacation would really help. It really would, because you do need a break from shit sometimes. You just can't keep going forever, you know. So I got all this stuff on my mind, and you know, what would really help is a partner, you know, for emotional support, financial support, everything, just physically keeping this place together, support. It's just, you know, doing it solo, it's hard. It's hard. It's a lot. You know, it's a lot going from a drug addict, alcoholic to all this. It's a lot. And it's definitely an eye opener for me. But it's a bitch fest today. And this is Waking Up and Slurping Coffee with Bill, episode, let's see, I haven't done a slurping coffee talk for a while. This will be damn 38. Thinks this will be 39, episode 39. Waking up and listening to Bill bitch about life. Cheers. But I just need to get it out sometimes, and this is where I do it. And you know, this is just life, man. It's hard. It has its moments where I can deal with it a lot better. But you know, waking up at 3 a.m. and my brain's starting to do the what ifs, it's not the best way to start my day. But you know what? I got it out. I feel a little bit better. I still got plenty of time to get ready for work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to try to have a great day at work. And just, you never know what can happen. It's better to be optimistic than pessimistic. So I'm going to try to be optimistic one day at a time, go with the flow, and you never know what good can come out of every day. Even, even if it's coming from myself or other people, you never know. That's the beauty of life. You never know what's going to happen. So thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. And y'all have a great day. Happy Saturday. And if you're out at Coachella, have fun. It seems like a crazy event, but you know, it's very quiet around here this weekend, I noticed. So I think a lot of people went to that Coachella thing that are around here. Must be nice. But it is very quiet around here, so I'm thinking maybe Coachella has something to do with that. So everybody's out there, Coachella, doing whatever they do. Apparently, it's pretty wild, though. I'm sure we're going to see some videos coming out. My bro, the Buff Alien's out there partying, so I'm a little jealous, but at the same time, it's probably not my jam because I'm not into like doing drugs and alcohol anymore. So I probably wouldn't have that great of a time even if I did go, So it is what it is. So y'all have a great day and we'll catch you later. All right. See ya.